Well, we're now opening up into a whole new year. 2012 has already started, and we're near the end of the month. But specifically, what's going to be important are many of the engagements that are going to be going on, especially in celebration to the holidays and recognizing the life of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Black History Month, and obviously in March we're going to have Women's History Month. It's really important that we recognize individuals that have had an opportunity to excel and have the ability to be able to build strong foundations that can be encouraging and begin to show some promise towards prosperity. And success is always the most important factor. But in order for us to have success, we must be consistent. I'm here now with a good friend of mine who really studied with me in my time when I needed to reestablish a career and get involved into the media business, who absolutely has given me a lot of inspiration and has proven to me that you really have to have the ability to know where you want to go. And those directions are certainly inherent upon our faith and our spiritual beliefs.
Yes.
April Wells has been very encouraging, especially with members of her family. She has a strong background in relationship to managing, and she has been able to create a record company and in many aspects become one of the artists in the organization.
Exactly.
And then she's been able to build a strong foundation with many individuals that have the same kind of inspiration that she has. We're here now with Mr. Keith Bailey, and again, this Sheila Franklin. I don't know what I'm going to do, honey. I know I'm married. April, it's really a pleasure and a delightful moment now that I can share with you what I do and you can share with me what you do.
Great.
We're no longer in class.
Exactly.
Business is business.
Yes.
You have some strong expectations.
Yes, I do.
The Arise and the Avalanche, it's a gala for this year.
Right.
And you're going to kick it off in January.
Correct.
I'm certainly sure that there are going to be some other opportunities that you would
definitely.
work on. But why don't you give me an idea exactly what evolved, what is the genesis behind this relationship that you have created?
Okay. I have a background of being an entertainer since I was 4 years old professionally. And my whole family sang and entertained, and Mr. Bailey here was an entertainer from we were all coming up together. And Mr. Bailey decided he wanted to be a Christian artist. That was his where he felt his heart was at. So we got together. I was actually doing background for Mr. Bailey, and I hadn't sang in years. And I know we've talked about that I had a career in singing, and I hadn't felt the need or the urge to want to sing. My mother died a few years ago, and she kept saying, I want you to sing, I want you to sing. And when I heard Mr. Bailey's first CD, that was it for me. I used to be Muslim, and at the time my mother passed, I was going through some things. I wasn't sure where I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, where my faith was. And listening to the CD gave me strength, I would say, or enough faith it kind of put something in me to want to go further and to entertain the thought of, I've never sang gospel, I've never done this kind of music before because I wasn't brought up in this, but it did something to my soul. And by meeting him and by listening to his music, it made me want to get more involved. But what happened was, been there, done that. We've all had record deals, didn't work, fall through, people take advantage of you. I sat down with Mr. Bailey one day and I said, listen, I think I could do this. Let me manage you. Let's do that first. And it started with me being his manager. He started getting a lot of bookings. We started meeting a lot of people, doing different things. And I had other people coming to me saying, well, I want you to manage me. And, I'd like to be on, could you? And I could say, well, no, I've got to do this first. So what happened was we decided, let's start our own record label so we could put out the people that we believed in. So we didn't have to shop them to big industry people and have to hear the no's and the maybes and the people taking advantage of them. So got together, myself, my daughter, she's my graphic artist, sat down with Mr. Bailey too, and we decided, you know what, okay, let's try this. So we decided to start our own record label. So we started the Arise label first, which is our contemporary Christian gospel label. And we have about 6 or 7 artists on that label. But my children perform, and they've been singing and rapping. And we said, you know what, let's do a secular label as well. And that's our Avalanche label. So I do R&B. Mr. Bailey has his group. Miss Sheila Franklin is one of our gospel artists. We also have our own house band, which is called A&T, a new thing. And they back up Mr. Bailey as well as some of the other artists that we have. We have spoken words, hip-hop, R&B, cool jazz, and contemporary Christian right now, and some regular gospel. And we're hoping to go forward with it. We're hoping that people enjoy what they hear. We decided to do a showcase of the artists. We invited some other special guests to come on and appear for the actual showcase. You know, make it a big to-do. We've got fashion extraordinaire Tyrone Shebley's doing the show, as well as Renee's Boutique. She's having some of her clothes in the show, and then we're having, it's just going to be a great gala. It's going to be, no one's ever done anything like this for a showcase or for a CD release, which is what we're celebrating, Mr. Bailey's second CD release the same day. And no one's ever done a CD release party quite like this, where they've had dinner and showcasing other talent. They've primarily focused on the one person who the CD was, you know, the release party was for. And we figured, why not introduce everybody? Why not give them a run through of what our label represents? Well, I should say labels, but we're all family, so it doesn't matter. And so far, so good. We've got some really great acts that are on the label as well as are performing in the showcase. A great lineup. It's a 5-hour show, dinner, fun, music, and fashion.
Sheila, how did you really get involved with this opportunity?
Well, I met April through a mutual friend, and we were working on the show, and she said, "Let me hear you sing," and I said, "No," and I've been bucking with her for a couple of years saying no, and so I call myself being sarcastic, of course. Let me sing so she can just leave me alone, and I sang for her, and
That was all she wrote.
it was over. It was over.
She was actually my personal assistant, but I
Yeah.
knew she could sing, and she just wouldn't.
Well,
So,
how does she know you could sing?
listening to her.
No, but I mean, have you done anything specifically?
Well, I sang in my church choirs,
What
different
church
church
is
choirs.
this?
I sung in Glorious Hope. I was at New Bethel Baptist Church, and like I said,
And these are all in Newark?
no, these are in Elizabeth. Churches that are in Elizabeth. When I was young, we did little shows for the older people. You know, we were on TV as well, cable, and I always enjoyed dancing and singing.
Okay.
But it wasn't gospel; it was R&B.
Okay. So what really brought you to the gospel arena?
Because I love the Lord, and that's where my heart is.
Yes.
And if I'm going to sing, that's who I'm going to sing about.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's
I'm going
right.
to sing about what I live about.
So what enlightened you to feel that that is going to be part of your testimony?
Well, because my testimony is what I live every day. And I would like to believe that I'm trying to run this race and critique my life so that I can help others critique theirs as they're running the race. You know, help them become closer to God. It's not an easy journey, but you know, He's there with me. He helps me through it, and I'm enjoying it.
Now, you know, it's interesting because, you know, Mr. Bailey, April just shared with us that you gave her an inspiration to come closer to God, and it seems like this whole mission is built upon developing ways in which you can minister to individuals.
Yes.
What started your whole relationship?
Well, my music career started a long time ago. In R&B, like the rest of us. And spent many years doing that, learning the craft and the art of singing. Got saved one day and changed my life. So
When you say you got saved one day, was it based upon some situation in your lifestyle?
yeah, I was raised in the church, so it wasn't a new thing for me. It was just that when I got to a certain place in my life and I had encountered certain things. At that time, as a matter of fact, I was about to get married and I was about to have my first child.
That'll
I
change
think
you.
that was inspirational too. Yes.
That'll change you, I'll tell
Yes,
you.
that-
I can believe in that one because
Yes.
my experiences go to that particular level as well. But are you saying now that your relationship in living kind of really made this idea of becoming an artist secondary?
Well, yes, somewhat. I've been the passion that I have for music has been forever. It's been since I've been a child. So I love the gift, and I intended to use it to the fullest.
Now, when you have had your relationships performing, can you share with us where you have actually performed?
Can I do that? Because I do the bookings.
Oh, really?
You mean for the gospel?
Yeah.
Actually, we've been doing the African festivals for all the city of Newark.
Okay.
We performed for Cory Booker several times, and we've been a few different places, Connecticut, a lot of different locations, but most of them here have been basically for the Newark, Cory Booker, the African Music Festival, things like that.
Now, building on this whole idea of coming up with a new strategy, something that is unique and different, the concept within itself has to be really time consuming.
Oh, it is.
How do you build the relationships where you know you can have the kind of commitments and still struggle for some financial support?
Wow. It's been really rough. Anybody knows that starting their own business and running their own business is a financial, it's just crazy. The amount of responsibility on individuals, and I'm glad I have a really great camp. I have a lot of people that support me, that help us, that work with us. We have printers, and we have I have a guy that's building our stage. I have my daughter does our graphic design. We have our band members. We all collectively work together in a unit as family. If there's someone that she knows or that he knows or that Mr. Hilson knows. As a matter of fact, I have to say this. Mr. James Hilson, we call him Rico, Reb, he actually brought me to the group, and Sheila as well. Well, he brought Sheila to me. He brought me to Keith.
Really?
He's not in the picture right now, but he's
Right.
here, everybody. Rico, say hi.
Say hi. Obviously, he's well known and someone who has been very supportive
Oh, very.
in his opportunity to really put together a conglomerate of
Yes.
talented individuals.
Yes, and bring them together,
The
yes.
whole scope of this program is really built off of a number of talent. And I see some of the names that I'm familiar with. Why don't you
Right.
give us a rundown on who's going to be part of the event?
Okay. We have a club diva performing who's been to the UK, all over London, Europe. She comes off the dance scenes from the 80s. She just had another hit record out called Lift Me to Heaven. Her name is Chanel. Her real name is Charlene Blair, but she goes by the name Chanel. Then we have Mr. Nate Hudson, who is actually a fashion designer, but a lot of people didn't know this. He actually used to perform background for a lot of celebrities. Patti LaBelle, Phyllis Hyman, Luther, all kind of people. And he just released a new CD as well, gospel. Then we have Mr. Dwayne Jennings, who in the gospel arena has performed or is very well known in the gospel circuit, or I should say church circuit. He's in Roselle and Linden and Elizabeth, Rawway, that area. Very, very well known, very talented brother. And he's doing a song or a couple of songs from his upcoming CD. And Mr. Jennings and Mr. Bailey both attend, I'm sorry,
The Abundant Life
Family Worship Church in New Brunswick.
New Jersey.
In New Brunswick?
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Hilson, Reb, he attends Pastor Bingham's church in Newark. And I used to attend Christian Pentecostal here in Irvington. And I'm very good friends with a lot of the Irvington pastors. What made me decide to do the showcase and the artist showcase really was to introduce the gospel and contemporary Christian artists to the church folk, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them hadn't heard of them.
Right.
And I really wanted people to hear what this music sounded like, because we did a show and the sound was so fresh and so new that we had young kids dancing around us on outside.
Okay.
And even though we were singing the words and the words were about God, it just got to them so. And I had people walk up to us and say, wow. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and I said, well, if we can do that here, why can't we do that everywhere.
Okay.
That word needs to really start to get out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was kind of like, just seeing the expression on some of the people's faces made me realize that the same way I felt when I walked into that room when I first heard Mr. Bailey's CD, the first one, was the same way those people responded when we performed.
Okay.
And it made me want to do something else, and something else, and something else. And I have so much talent in my family alone that I was sitting there saying, I'm not going to let my mom down. You know, we talked about my mother. My mother was a jazz artist. She sang with little Jimmy Scott, Arthur Pryside, Gloria Lynn, Sarah Vaughan. And she kept saying, Apple, I want you to finish your music. I want you to do your music. But I became a mother full time, and I went back to school, and I worked.
And I think that's what I was getting at.
Right.
Yeah.
Where am I going with this? What am I going
Right.
to do? Am I going to do something I don't really want to do the rest of my life? Or I'm going to really do something I believe that I can do, that I think I was meant to do? And that's kind of what hit me. It was like, just wanting to help him alone got me back into the spirit of, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you can help people. And if you can help people, why shouldn't you do it? So that's kind of what happened with all of us.
I like the idea of what it is, and I think, you know, the scope of it, like a lot of us, it's almost like a second life.
Right.
Because
Starting over, yeah.
When we got involved in
Right.
responsibilities that really kept us from living our dream, and then we
Correct.
found out we couldn't live our dream through our kids.
Right.
Sheila, what is it that you are really focusing on in your career now? Because you're probably one of the younger members.
Well, I'm hoping that this can turn into something else for me as well. I would like to go back to school, go to divinity school, and be a prophetess in the long run. That's what I'm hoping. And I'm hoping that this singing will, you know, generate a following, you know, of believers, you know, and so when I do step into, you know, my ministry full time, that this will be the beginning of it.
Now, as far as your opportunity to kick off the new year in this capacity, have you already put together a schedule for, let's say, down the line?
Yeah, we'll probably be doing another artist showcase. What we plan on doing is separating the genres. This was like the big kickoff of both labels, but the next showcase we do, we'll probably try to do one in the spring and then one in the summer. We'll do two of each, and one will be our gospel division, contemporary Christian, and the other one will be our secular division. Because we find it that even though we want everybody to hear everything, everybody's not always acceptive of everything. You know what I mean?
Of course. And,
that's one reason why we decided to split the show up.
It's amazing, and I'm certainly sure you're going to be successful, because you do have a very keen awareness of skill from, you know, my experiences with you. This is a lot to consider for a very nominal cost, which most people probably spend more in drinks on. And the benefit of it is that they're not only going to enjoy entertainment, but they're going to be fulfilled with the wisdom of your inspiration.
Right. I'm sorry, I left a couple of the artists out that I should mention.
Sure.
Damian Omenichi is, he's been in the R&B industry since he was a child. He's coming out now with his first pop rock CD entitled Digital. Right, Digital.
Okay.
And he'll be performing on the show as well.
Okay.
And I'd like to mention New Jersey's own DJ Frosty.
And he is.
He's one of New Jersey's hottest young DJs around.
Okay.
He plays on, I think it's Hot 97.
Okay.
And very, very good.
Right.
Great guy. And also Mr. Pete Del Renzo. Pete has done things with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, different actors. He acts. He actually sings as well, but he's not singing on the show. But he's a comedian, a great comedian. And he's been in the camp for like 9 years, 8 years.
Yes.
Something,
Really?
8 or 9 years. So we've collectively collaborated, a bunch of people who have worked together. Dwayne and Keith go back for years and years. Mr. Hilson and I go back for years. So and so has Chanel, Charmaine. We've gone back since we were children, and we all kind of went our different ways, and but collectively we've all been supportive of one another and wanted to see everybody make it. So who better to reach out for than people that have known you most of your lives and said, okay, I believe in you, you believe in me, let's do it.
Again, what I like about it is that it's part of the arts, and if you're just tuning in, we're here now with the members of the Arise and Avalanche Gala of the Year. through a presentation with Apple Management, and it's going to be one of the most premier events for the first part of the year. I can certainly agree in terms and feel confident in saying that. And also that there are going to be some other opportunities that you'll be able to share with us in terms of how you want to showcase your artists. We're here now with Miss April Wells, who manages the recording production company and has been very inspirational in gathering a group of talented individuals that are looking forward to seeing some success in the activities that they will represent. You know, it's interesting, Keith. A new thing, and we come to give the Lord praise. Can you share with us some of the tracks that you're singing on this this release that you're going to have at the party?
Well, the title track is kind of self-explanatory. It's the purpose under which we're doing what we're doing. There's some songs on there that I like. Highest Praise. I like that song because it just talks about giving God His due honor and His due praise. There's a song on there called Save Me that I like a lot. That talks about, how much we need Him. And there's a song that's on there called Even Now. That's my personal testimony. It came from a real hard time in my life when I was under the ground, so to speak. And that's where that song came from. It was my personal testimony, how I felt at the time.
Well, looking at the whole relationship of how things are being brought to existence, and I hear some whispers, so come on, April, tell me what's going on.
I'm sorry, no, we were just reflecting on the show we had in St. Louis.
St. Louis?
Yeah.
So you've been trapped?
Oh, yeah, we've been traveling.
I didn't go.
She didn't go there, no.
Where were you?
I had to work.
This was actually
what
Keith Bailey's
happened?
group.
What happened?
It was great, actually.
Yeah.
We traveled across country
Right.
in a big old RV. It was a lot of
Really?
fun. Oh, yeah. Got to meet a lot of people.
Okay.
Amy Rushes, the guy that used to sing with the Ohio Players. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
No.
I forget.
He sang the lead for the Ohio Players,
right,
which he's
okay.
now doing.
He's a pastor now.
Lonnie?
Something like that.
Yeah, which he's now doing gospel.
Okay.
Bad.
He's great.
Really?
He's fantastic.
Yeah,
that
and
right?
so we got to meet a few people. Well, I knew a lot of.
People who have had
Well, we already
experiences
know.
and know the path.
Right, we already know
Know
a
how
lot
to
of
keep you from
celebrities.
going
You know what I mean?
into
I
the
grew up
whole-
with Sissy and all of those people.
Right.
My whole life, I've known all of them. So, but for it to be something new now
Right.
with us, and for us to have ventured out and not to have asked for any help, I think is what I'm most proud about.
Okay.
The fact that I didn't run to somebody else and say, "Can you?" I said, we're gonna start from scratch, and whatever happens, happens.
Well, honestly, again, it comes right back to what we do here at We Care Partners. We're certainly happy about the whole opportunity to build a relationship with you.
Love it.
Where we're going to be dealing with quality of life issues, and this is pretty much involved with dealing with a healthy environment and understanding what we want to deal with in relationship to fashion and the design industry, fashion and beauty, beauty and fashion, and what we really want to do with health and wellness. And, really looking at what it is that you have been able to provide. It's a little bit much more than entertainment, especially, the way that Sheila is sharing with us how she is very equipped and ready to move into another level using this as obviously a stepping stone.
Right.
And, Keith, you've already through this testimony, been able to share with your relationships on how you can help others. We believe that it's really necessary and important that you will find an opportunity to participate with this event on January 21st. It doesn't really seem fair to date it because I want to make sure that you get another chance to meet some of these artists in the future. We'll probably be looking forward to coming by and participating and seeing if we can do some backstage and
Oh, definitely. I would love
interviews
that.
and do some clips. We have 3 shows that we do promote, and one of them is called Cool Vibes,
Oh.
and it deals with art and entertainment.
Oh,
So we
okay,
certainly like
great.
to feature you on our next production.
Great.
That's going to come up at the beginning of February.
Okay, great.
All right,
Sounds
so
great.
we want you to be looking forward to seeing what happens, but if you have an opportunity that you can come down and want to experience the downtown Newark area, it will be at the Robert Treat Hotel. That's 50 Park Place, and The show will begin at 6 p.m., and we're going to be looking forward to being able to see most of you at the door, but you can go on PayPal, and you can look on our website at www.wecarepartners.com. We'll provide a link for you to be able to get to the Apple Management Entertainment, but you can contact them for booking information at 973-666-3114. But you can definitely be assured that we're going to be doing what we can to post information
I appreciate
so
that.
that it won't be too much of a difficult problem for us to be able to promulgate it. And we want to look at an opportunity maybe even with some of our live productions that we're going to begin to start doing to use you as one of our advertisement
Great,
potentials. Do you have any advertisement?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great.
We have a website. I'll
Okay.
get you all that information.
And
Great website.
that website, we certainly will be able to post on our website and make sure you'll be able to get that
Great.
information.
I'm sorry, can I just say something? I want to make an opportunity for young individuals to contact us because one of the things we want to do is help the youth. And, you know, there's a lot of kids that want to rap and sing and things like that. And, you know, they don't have anything to focus on a lot. You know what I mean? And we want to just reach out that they could send us packages, you know, or contact us if they want some kind of support as far as becoming in the industry or getting in the industry, even if it's just advice.
Well,
I
I'll
do
tell you
give
what we'll
advice
do.
and things like that.
Why don't you and I sit down and talk about coming up maybe with a workshop
That'd
or
be
a
great.
conference?
That'd be great.
And then I'll showcase you, and you can have your artist there. And
That'd be
we
great.
can sit down and have a panel discussion.
That'd be great.
Bring some new people in. We'll be looking forward to that opportunity to be able to share with you how you can get involved.
That'd be great.
And I
Wonderful.
think that that would certainly be a very good asset to what we're doing here at We Care Partners.
Great.
And, you know, be part of something that will drive the ability to do the outreach that's really important for us to help build better communities.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because that's
Give them
just
something
the
to do. Yep.
objective.
Give
You
them
know,
something to do.
a lot of times they don't know where to go.
Go. That's right.
And then when they do go, they don't know who to trust.
Trust. Exactly. Exactly.
And, you know, we're here to make sure that you can be able to rest assured that the relationships that we're going to be building are those that you can trust.
Exactly.
So we're going to be looking forward to coming up with some ideas and ways in which we can constructively
That'd
work
be
with
great.
you.
That'd be
and
great.
if you really want to do that, then we're certainly going to
That would be great. I'd love it.
Yeah.
That's just wonderful. Yeah,
How about
that's,
that? That's
Great.
that's great.
Fantastic.
Oh, is that okay with you?
Perfect.
All right. All right, let me get off the camera before I get myself in trouble. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Oh,